Oh my goodness, guys, Trump just detonated the dollar and nobody noticed yet. Say it like you mean it, guys. Right now, we're bold, angry, and it's personal because, spoiler, your money is exactly what's under fire here. And in the past few days, India's rupee tumbled to an all-time low of 88 per US dollar. That's not finance speak. It means your groceries in Mumbai, your parents' pensions, and India's factories are taking a cannonball. Meanwhile, Canada's economy just shrank 1.6 in Q2, the worst since the pandemic. And guess what's causing both? Yep, you guessed it, Trump's tariffs. So let's dive in. I want you to imagine blinking and finding that your country's currency just lost its value overnight, because that's what India is facing. And just up north, Canada is watching its factories idle and its GDP shrink, all because of one man's tweet storms. Now, your savings, your job, your entire financial horizon is wobbling, and that's before you check the news feed. So you still watching, guys? Good, because if the global economy collapsing doesn't pull you in, I'm not sure what is. So if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. Helps the channel, and I'd be really honored if you guys did that. But let's go ahead and move to the headline, guys. The rupee has just crashed past 88 against the dollar. Its worst showing in history. That was a combination of fear, investor flight, and a central bank scrambling to intervene. So here's a gut punch to it all. These tariffs could have shaved almost a full % off India's GDP growth. Now, that's not the economy took a hit. That's India got a fever and it's raging. Now, investors didn't wait. They dumped nearly 10 billion from Indian stocks and bonds in a matter of days. And that's not a trickle, that's a stampede. And the rupee? It's not just losing to the dollar, it's getting beaten by the Chinese yuan too. Now, that's like losing a race to someone who didn't even know there was a race to begin with. So let's try to break this down. India's exports to the United States are around 2.3% of its GDP, almost 20% of all exports. Gems, pharmaceuticals, textiles, now slap a 50% tariff on top. Pain doesn't even begin to describe what's going on. Now, for years, India thought it was cozying up to the United States to build a bulwark against China, but now that bridge is burning. The BRICS table is calling, and India is being pulled in fast. So look at this dive, right? That's not a currency, it's a free fall. And a meme here, like a cartoon dollar waving goodbye as the rupee nosedives. And here's the kicker to it all. United States doesn't like that India's buying cheap Russian oil while shaking hands with Putin. So boom, here come the tariffs. But it's like a toxic ex texting you at 3 a.m. If you don't do what I say, you're going to regret it. And that's basically what's happening right now. Now in Canada, Canada's in its own meltdown mode. Q2 GDP shrank an annualized 1.6%, the worst since COVID. Exports plunged, cars and trucks dropped by nearly a quarter, and businesses are bleeding. And now, in the middle of that pain, there's talk of Canada deepening integration with the United States, almost like becoming America's 51st state. Let that sink in for a second. But here's the thing. Canadians aren't taking it lying down. Trips south of the border, canceled. American products, boycotted. There's a full-on grassroots revolt brewing. Call it buy Canadian, call it anger, but people are waking up. Now, here's what's really wild, right? This isn't some abstract academic talk anymore. The de-dollarization is here. It's live, it's messy, it's happening. India, Russia, China, they're trading in local currencies now. Oil in yuan, commodities in rupees or rubles. Every handshake that bypasses the dollar is a crack in its dominance. Now, India's trade deficit with China from 44 billion to nearly 100 billion in just 4 years, and with tariffs pushing them even closer together, we're staring down 120 billion. maybe more. Now, every dollar that doesn't flow through Washington makes the dollar weaker and BRICS stronger. So stick with me, guys, because this is where it gets global. Now, say that out loud, because the dollar isn't just slipping, it's falling into quicksand. And every few minutes, we're going to open a new loop, because this story just doesn't stop here. And if you think this bad, wait until we get to oil. Now, here's the wildfire, right? India is importing 1.7 million barrels of Russian crude per day, more than even China. It's paid in local currency at a discount of 5 to 10%. Now, Trump says stop. India says we can't, because it's physics, no energy, no industry. And Russia, laughing all the way to the bank, guys. Meanwhile, China is building its next great advantage with Russian pipelines, like Power of Siberia 2, setting itself up for cheaper gas, cheaper power, cheaper manufacturing. And here's the kicker. If India folds under United States pressure and dumps Russian oil, guess who steps in? China. And if China absorbs that energy, their industries become even more competitive. And India, stuck between two giants, losing leverage on both sides. So what's the domino effect here? For every country is being forced to pick a side right now. India caught between the United States tariffs and Russian oil. Canada either double down on its United States dependency or rip off the Band-Aid and diversify quickly. Europe, anxious, watching supply chains shift underneath their feet. But here's the rule. When they can't beat you, they tax you. And when that doesn't work, they isolate you. But the counterplay, diversify or die. And that's exactly what's happening, faster than Washington ever imagined. Now, why this isn't just bad? And here's the truth nobody really wants to say out loud. This isn't temporary. It's going to be structural. India's economy is still growing almost 8% last quarter, but that growth is tethered to cheap energy and strong exports. Tariffs jeopardize both. Canada, their domestic spending is propping them up for right now, but it's a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. And their trade deficits are swelling. Money's leaving faster than it's coming in, and the Canadian dollar is barely holding on. So growth, energy exports, they're all interconnected. And you can't rip one piece out of the puzzle without watching the entire picture collapse. So we're watching de-dollarization go from a slow drip to a full-blown flood. And this may be the moment the global financial system splits or mutates into something entirely new. So stay tuned with us, guys. The next episode, we're going to be diving into Europe, where a quiet brick-sized bomb is sitting under the surface. And if you think these tariffs are savage, man, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because remember this isn't just de-dollarization. This is the dollar's reckoning. So thank you guys so much. You stayed to the end. You guys are my people. Share this with someone that you still think or still thinks the dollar is untouchable. And put your comment in the section below. Let me know if you think I got this right or wrong. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next episode of The Baseline. All right. Cheers, everybody.